But this planet is supposed to come and fuck up the polarity of the Earth and cause all kind of catastrophe, and when the earthquakes come, then the ancient ones that are stuck down there are supposed to break through the earth and kill everybody off that is impure or not of royal bloodline, which would be related directly to Christ himself, and da-da-da-da. Okay, all that crap. Right? That all ties in directly to Dulce, considering the fact that it is very possible that if this is a true story, or a true thought, or a true vision that somebody had, then possibly they would be able to, over time, use evolution to their advantage to become these extraterrestrial beings that call themselves native Terrans. Okay? Now, one other thing I want to point out about the Greys is that according to many abductees, it seems like the Greys, or the Grey type aliens, are they're bidders. They do bidding of a higher, more tall being that basically the Greys are pretty much like robots. Now, one thing I want to point out is that according to Costello, before we had realized any of these things to do with Greys, is that he had said that the Greys work for and are controlled by the Draco, and that there are others that are not in league with the Draco, which means that they could be otherworldly, they could be, such as this, underneath our soil, and have different intents and purposes for us. Now, as far as I am concerned, across the board, the Greys are not good, not a good species to be coming in contact with. So, if somebody has a story where they can prove me wrong and say that the Greys were actually a different kind of being, someone that was menacing or something to that effect, then please let me know. He said that he had to talk to aliens on a relatively daily basis. He was the only one that the reptilians called. And the reptilians were the working caste. They usually did physical labor in the lower levels, and the decisions involving them was usually made by the White Draco, which was like their king, if you will. And the human workers caused problems every now and then, and the reptoids went to the White Draco, or their boss, and the Draco called him, and he said he felt like it was never ending. Several humans resented the no-nonsense attitude that reptoids lived by, and intervention was a vital tool. The biggest problem was human workers that wandered too far. Most of the time they were stopped by the cameras, and somebody came and told them, stay away from it, it's off limits, da-da-da-da. But it's human nature to be curious about what's beyond the barriers. Too often someone found a way to bypass the barriers and nose around. Cameras near the section entrance usually stopped them before they found trouble. A few times I had to formally request the return of a human worker. Now that's a pretty big allegation right there, that not even workers were safe from these experiments if they decided to get nosy and start poking around. Now, one of the other things I want to point out is that these the people and the reptoids and whatnot that worked there, you were not allowed any discussion outside of the laboratories, and everything that was in the laboratories had to be work related. No jokes, no nothing. So, I mean, you weren't even allowed to say hello if you had passed one in the hallway. I mean, it was against the rules, and you would be dealt with accordingly if you decided to speak. He was asked if there were other sites tied into the shuttle network, and he said they are everywhere. They crisscross through the world as an endless subterranean highway, like a freeway but underground, another means of transport. It's a sub-global system, which means it's all across the globe. There are checkpoints at each country entry. There are shuttle tubes that shoot the trains at incredible speeds using the mag level and vacuum method. Speed excels the speed of sound. Entrances are in every U.S. state, frequently camouflaged as sand quarries or mining operations. There are more complex entrances found on military bases. New Mexico and Arizona have the most, followed by California, Montana, Idaho, Colorado, Pennsylvania, Kansas, Arkansas, and Missouri. Florida and North Dakota have the fewest. Wyoming has a closed road that goes directly into one near Brooks Lake. Now, I have looked near Brooks Lake, and I have not found anything all that significant. I did find a few things, however, and I will put that in that collab for you, of what I found to be out of the ordinary. But I did not find an old road that, you know, just disappeared into the side of a tunnel. So, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe you can find it. But then again, maybe it's airbrushed out, and Google Earth just decided that they don't want people poking around since it is near a national park. Okay? Some bases in Utah are in Salt Lake, Lake Powell area, Park Canyon, Dugway Grounds, Modin, and Vernal. There are others too, all have exits there. The tunnel network also connects to Mount Shasta in California. It is a major site of human, alien, and elder and reptilian race meetings. And he also says that in the beginning, Grover Cleveland and every president in U.S. history visited Telos City. Truman supposedly visited the lower realms as a high archon on Earth and met the king of the world there. And that all of those are in quotations. And gave him the keys to the USA. Now, I don't know if Truman gave the key to the USA to the alien, or if the alien gave the key to Truman. It's hard to say. Thomas Costello was a member of the Subgalactic League of Costa Rica. It is more commonly called the Central Unit. These people are apparently people that were working there and escaped during the tragedy that happened at that base. Apparently, during a revolt process, a bunch of them were slaughtered. And along with the reptilian beings that knew of their plans to expose this base. And apparently some people had gotten away and were in hiding, and they started this subgalactic league where people can come and discuss the things that are going on and the steps that they are going to take in order to expose these things.